Hi, I'm Cynthia Kahn, founder of Amused Now, and I'm here today with pop punk band Heart and Soul Radio. I have Brian Johannsen, who plays guitar. Hey, Brian.
Hey, how's it going?
And I have Schuyler Ankele, who plays bass. Hey, Schuyler.
Hello, hello. Thanks for having us.
My pleasure. Well, congratulations on the hit single, Ain't No Life Like the Low Life. The video is also a hit.
Yes, thank you. It's been good finally having a single out there, and shooting this video was a blast because me and Schuyler used to train together, kickboxing and doing all that, and we got to shoot it live and actually put a story behind it, which was really fun. So a lot of accidental hits and kicks to the face, punches to the face, and turns out fake fighting is a lot harder than it seems.
So did you get kicked a lot, Scott?
Sadly, I was being attacked in the video, so Brian was the one that took the brunt of all the misplaced shots. I accidentally socked him in the nose pretty hard, at least 2 or 3 times.
That is very true. I actually I karate chopped Schuyler right in the teeth. He has some real good choppers right there, and I just full on karate chopped him right in the mouth one time. It was awesome. It was a fun shoot.
It says that the video is a homage to the Beastie Boys Sabotage video. And so besides the Beastie Boys, who are your major music influences?
I think some of the big ones are kind of like 90s rock. We're huge Nirvana fans, and I like Pearl Jam quite a bit. Just really kind of the rock based, like guitar based drums, like that's a huge thing for us. So Nirvana is really high up there, and then modern stuff like Foo Fighters are huge for us. Schuyler, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, we had a pretty awesome situation that came up with one of our favorite bands from the 90s. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but they're called Ruth Ruth. And Brian had reached out to their singer and just relayed to him how big of fans we were, and sent him some songs, and he was very receptive, and said thanks for the free songs and complimented some of the songs. So to us that was a huge milestone.
Wow. I love that when things like that happen. It just makes your day, maybe your week.
Yeah, yeah.
I really also like the song Thieves in the Night. So tell us a little bit more about that one too.
Schuyler, go.
Okay. So that song, we've had a lot of pressure from the industry lately in our local connections, and a lot of people suggesting on how we need to do things. And we talked to a bigger manager in town, and we walked away from that meeting kind of feeling frustrated and convinced that they didn't know what the hell they were talking about. So we continued doing things our own way, and we were about halfway done writing the album, and we decided to write Thieves in the Night, and it's basically an answer to everyone's suggestions on what we should be doing and how we need to direct our career. And something that's really common in Denver is that unless you're playing with other bands that think that they're big, bands in Denver don't think you're big. And for us, it's laughable because we've toured the country plenty of times.
Your bio says that Heart and Soul Radio was formed from the ashes of former bands Amino and Dork. So it's time to tell us the Heart and Soul backstory and how the three of you met, because you also play with Jimmy Blair on drums.
Yeah, so that we have, kind of a storied past, but I think Dork started in early 2000s, and they got pretty big pretty fast and got on a Warp Tour and kind of had really made a name for themselves. And I had just just finished my master's degree in sound engineering, so I became a producer and went to find the biggest band in Denver, and in my opinion, that was Dork, and asked them if I could record their album, and they said no. And then they ended up coming back a few months later and said, let's do it. And we spent like 6 months recording that album, and at the end they asked me to join. And then we went on Warp Tour for 2 more years, and then, a few personnel changes and all that, went from being a 5-person band down to a 3-person band. So we've been around as Heart and Soul Radio since 2009, and it's much easier to operate with a 3-person band. You're only married to 2 people rather than being married to 4 other people, so it makes it a lot easier.
So, Schuyler, were you in Amino?
Yeah, yeah. Oddly enough, I used to be in Dork. I was the lead guitarist, and Brian being hired basically replaced me as the lead guitarist. And I think the way that the roles were shifting in the band is I was becoming more of one of the songwriting core members, and um, so it did cause friction at first for me and Brian. I think, truthfully, Brian is 10 times the guitarist I am, so there came a point where it was like, what's good for the band is to have this guy taking over the spotlight with the guitar, and you do what helps the greater good of the band.
Well, Brian touched on it a little bit, but so tell us a little bit more about your music backgrounds because I can tell you definitely had some training.
Yeah, I think personally for me, I was in high school music. Like I played bass and show choir and all that, and then I went to get a bachelor's degree in music performance. Did classical guitar for a little bit and some piano, and then switched my major to anthropology. Got my bachelor's in that, and then got my master's in sound engineering. So a little bit of music background, the technical side of it for myself. But I think mostly we've all just been, jamming and learning on our own since we were, little kids. I started when I was 15. Schuyler, go ahead and tell your story.
Yeah, I got my first guitar, I think, for my 12th or 13th birthday, and I went to lessons and stuff, and the lessons did not take very well. But my singing background comes from being forced to go to church, and I actually eventually was kicked out of church. But before that, they taught me how to, sing harmonies, and I would get in trouble during choir because I would sing stuff that wasn't in the gospel or whatever. So uh, it was, I don't know, it's a mixed experience. I appreciate the skills that harmonizing the church gave me, but at the same time, it's not a lot of good memories.
I'm not going to go down that road with you, but well, you have over 40 videos on your YouTube channel, and they range from your standard music videos. You even have how-to videos and videos of your pets. So tell us, what is your video strategy?
I think it's in general, it's just to entertain. That's what we've kind of learned these past couple of years with social media and all that kind of stuff. You're not just a band putting out music. You have to constantly keep people entertained. So whether it's webisodes or just funny clips or anything like that, you constantly have to keep rolling out media for people to consume, and we try to be as entertaining as we possibly can. We shoot all of our own music videos and do all of our own editing and all that kind of stuff. So it's exhausting to do it, but our strategy is to just keep people entertained constantly, and you can only come out with new music so often, but you can come out with really dumb clips way often, especially when you're us. So it's easy to be stupid.
Yes, Schuyler, I think you have some with your pugs or something.
Yeah. I was gonna bring my cat that has a donut on for the interview, but she was not feeling up to it this morning.
Oh, well, you tell her, hope she feels better.
I will do.
In addition to your YouTube channel, you also have a great website and you're on social media a lot. So why don't you tell us how you use social media to connect with bands and get the word out about your music?
Well, I mean, Facebook is kind of our core, and we try to use every platform there is out there. Facebook has definitely been where most of our energy is focused at, but we just try to take anything that's funny or interesting in our lives and get it out there so people so people really can understand kind of who we are and connect with us on that level, as well as the music that we put out. So we just really like doing topical things. We pay attention to what's trending and all that, and throw out our own view on what's going on and do that kind of stuff. As we like to do interviews and have dogs freak out in the background, so our singer has to leave and that kind of stuff. So there's never a dull moment in our lives, and we try to throw that out on the Twitter and the Facebook and the YouTube. Andy's back.
How's your dog, Schuyler?
Yeah, my dogs are going crazy. I had to shut them up.
They're still alive, aren't they?
Until the interview's over.
Since Amused Now is about artists helping artists, it would be very interesting to hear what advice the two of you have for other indie bands who are trying to make a name for themselves.
I would start out just saying, put material out there. I just constantly, whether it's music, whether it's photos, videos, anything. You have to keep people entertained in this day and age, because even if you have a song that really catches on, I mean, that can, that'll fade away because people hear it a billion times in a day, and they forget your name. So you have to keep reinventing yourself, like almost on like a weekly basis, rather than back in the day, you could live off of a song or something for a number of years, if it was good enough. But now people forget your name after a couple days, even if you have done something pretty substantial. So that my biggest piece of advice would be to anyone starting would be, learn how to shoot video, learn how to edit video, learn how to build web pages, learn how to use Photoshop. You got to be like a media outlet just on your own, and if you're paying everyone to do all that kind of stuff, you better have a lot of money, right, Schuyler?
Yeah, and more than that, I think what we've learned through our personal experiences of doing the different bands is don't be convinced that you already know what your band is going to look like when it's successful. I think in our minds, the picture of the band that would survive through all the stuff that we've been through is much different than the three of us. And I know that we couldn't be happier with the three of us doing, our current setup, where we are working harder than ever, but the rewards are 10 times higher than they've ever been.
Yeah, I think agility is key. You have to look and see and take feedback and switch direction if it has to happen, and not worry so much about it. So, tell us what's up next for Heart and Soul Radio.
We are doing a pretty big, press push on our album here. We're going to be doing a radio campaign soon in the next couple months to really get some of our songs out there. And then on top of that, we're going to be doing, getting a booking agent and start really going around and playing a lot of shows. It's been 4 years we've been working on this album and really not playing out much. We'd play out every couple months. But now we're really going to start, throwing it down and playing live as much as possible. So hopefully, our songs will be on the radio and we'll be in the venues. So, and then we're just going to kind of see where it takes us.
Yeah, and I think it's a lot different approach than we used to do things. The way we used to approach touring was we would get out on the road, play hundreds of shows, and then figure out what wasn't working or what could improve on the road. Whereas now we've rehearsed the entire show or different sets of shows numerous times, and we kind of, going into our last couple of shows, have how we want the crowd to respond, and we hopefully are setting up a show that cooperates with that. And I think this last 2 shows, we had a show in Omaha for a zombie walk, and then our album release have been insane with the amount of energy that we've gotten from the crowd. So I think that is a noticeable difference.
Well, guys, I had a fabulous time getting to know you today.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was fun. This is our first time Google hanging outing, so it's pretty awesome.
Well, we'll have to do it more often, especially before you go on tour, so you'll have to get back in touch with me, and I wish you all the best. Good night.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Cynthia.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Kahn, founder of Amused Now. This featured artist presentation has been brought to you by Amused Now Entertainment, a website that enables artists to profit from their creativity. To learn more about Amused Now, visit us at www.amusednow.com or email me at ccon@amusednow.com.